Hey, this is Nathan with LS3. Today we've got a good one for you. This is going to be configuring a alarm.com thermostat for the first time. This is technically a user function. It can be a little tricky if you don't know much about thermostats. So let's get into it and we can kind of give you a walkthrough on how to set this up if ever you're faced with this screen right here. So if you see, this is our office. We've got a alarm.com thermostat on here and it says configure your thermostat so that we know, how it works. So we're going to click configure. It should take us to kind of like a wizard almost. Right here, we're going to name it. Let's just call it thermostat because we only have one. But you could call this, hallway if you've got multiple, or if you got master. Just name it something that you know what it is. We're going to remove the cover. It's going to ask you, what connections do you have? Is it oil, or is it gas or electric heat? Most people's are gas. I'm going to select gas for here. Let's do that. Hit OK. And then now it's asking, what wires do you see connected to the terminals? Most commonly you're going to have a red wire with like a jumper. In this case, it should be an RH for alarm.com. And there should be like a little jumper down here in the bottom left that says RC to RH bridge, and it should have a little clip on there. So hopefully you see that. And then typically you're going to have a white wire. C is for common wire, or it's blue typically. You should have one of those. Sometimes you won't see this and you can operate without it. It's just going to use batteries for your thermostat. And then Y is for yellow. G is for green, and then that is the 5 wires that most common thermostats have. If you see an O wire or an orange, that means you have a heat pump, and there's some extra configuring that you'll have to do for that. But for today's tutorial, we're just going to cover a basic thermostat. So let's hit next now that we've checked all of our wires. It says your wiring has been successfully identified. Reconnect the thermostat. Okay, we've determined the following settings of your thermostat. Please confirm these settings. So within here, you can lock it down, which is really cool for businesses. You can enable the lockout, where the only way to manipulate it is through the alarm.com portal. So you can kind of stop your employees from changing those target temps and saving yourself a lot of money. We've had some customers that have benefited from that greatly, saving hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of several years through saving energy. And let's see, display on, so you can actually disable the display to where it looks dead. I like it being on, locked down or not, just so that you can tell if it's working. And then you can have it overshoot temperature. And also, if you have any questions of what these are, you can hover over these little question marks and it tells you exactly what they do. But if you wanted to overshoot past your target temp by a few degrees, because it seems like one room in particular doesn't quite get cool enough, you can do that. You can do your heat set point and your cool set point. And then once you get those set up, you can hit next. And it's using the Z-Wave communication right now to go ahead and push these settings to the thermostat. So as soon as it's done doing this, it will kind of take us to the next page. All right, so now it says, congratulations, you're all set. Thermostat's successfully been configured, and now you should be able to control it through the mobile app. So now when I go back to the dashboard, you'll notice that there's our thermostat, and it shows the current temp, the mode, and you can change any of this stuff that you want. I can change it from cool to heat, my target temp, and you can even do presets. Another thing that you can also do is through, I believe, automation. All right, so here is the schedules tab. And from here, if you scroll to the bottom, there is a thermostat schedule that was auto-generated once we got the thermostat configured. We can turn this on, and if we click on this little pencil, we can edit, you know, various things, and it's telling us, you know, the initial time we open this up, it kind of tells us what is what. Yeah, use the tabs to toggle. Perfect. Yeah, so you don't even need me, but it's telling us basically what each of these things does. All right, perfect. So, you know, you can come in here and set a schedule for specific times. You know, so if we wanted this to kick on, actually, you probably want to do it about an hour before people should be in the building. That way you give it time to get down to that target temp would be a recommendation. And then, you know, you can have it shut off at, you know, when people should be out of here. So like 6 o'clock for us on a weekday. And then weekends, pretty much nobody should really be here. I think you can actually delete out. Yeah, we're closed. So yeah, perfect. So we don't really have an open and close, so it should just remain on its closed temp the entire time. So yeah, so basically, I'm actually gonna kick this down to 6:30 because I wanna give our guys enough time that it'll be cool by the time people get in here. And then, yeah, you can actually change this to a 7-day view, which looks a little bit different. But for our purposes, I'm going to go ahead and do this and hit save. And actually, let's do open temp. We would want that obviously to be a little cooler, huh? Like 71 degrees. Perfect. Save. Cool. So now we've effectively saved that schedule into our thermostat. And there's a lot of cool things you can do with that. Another thing that you can do with the automated thermostats is what was this, a fan schedule? No, we're going to leave that alone. I think it's under rules. Yeah, right here. This one's already enabled. So fire safety, when the fire alarm goes off, I would like to turn off my thermostats so that it's not feeding the flames new air. That's a safety feature that is baked in with the alarm.com thermostats, and this rule is auto-written. I didn't do anything to make that happen. But yeah, so it's a nice feature that just kind of comes with if you add alarm.com smoke detectors and if you add alarm.com thermostats, this just automatically happens. It's a really cool feature that keeps your home safe in case of a fire. So, but yeah, that covers everything to know kind of about the initial setup of a thermostat. And then all of this interface is accessible through the mobile app, so you can change your target temps and everything, just like you see here through the mobile app as well.